Twami Mata Chapita Tame Twamiv Bandhuscha Sakha Twamiv Twamiv Vidya Dravinam Twamiv Twamiv Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Thou art my mother, thou my father, thou art my friend and companion, thou my knowledge, thou my wealth, thou art all in all, O Lord of Lords. Oh, peace, peace, peace. So we are back to the reading of Narada's way of divine love. That is called Narada Bhakti Sutra. So, what we have learned that the devotee is totally intoxicated in God, and that intoxication will help them to conquer all types of suffering and loss, happiness and misery. And whatever comes in life, they will be just ignoring them, or it will not affect them, and they will not spend any moment, a split second, even in any other attempt other than thinking of God. That will be there, and even there is that. What they being established in the truth, non-injury, purity, compassion, they will engage. We, the people who are following that tradition, should be associated with that type of non-violence, truthfulness, cleanliness, faith in spirituality, and other virtues. They should be observed by a spiritual personality. And we read that the bhakta, the devotee, what he should do, he should be sarvada sarvabhavena for all time to come, every moment, and in all possible ways and means, without being worried about anything in the life, will totally engage in worshipping God and God alone. That means decided the purpose of life and they have fixed their goal. They don't want to spend moments in gossip, meaningless chit chat. Because for them, every moment goes and that goes, never to come back. Therefore, sarvada means all the time, always, sarvabhavena, in every possible means and ways, nischintitai, being free from worries and anxieties. Whatever happens, they don't care anything. So such will be the intense feeling in their heart, being carefree from all this. Bhagavan eva, God alone, will be worshipped by them. So that is the way they live. And what if someone can do this? Sakirtamana. In this way, if one can think and meditate on the glories of the Lord and keep the mind always engaged in God, not caring for what will happen, what tomorrow will bring, who will take care of me. I am becoming old and I am alone in the world. I've lost my own people, nothing till we engaged in carefree. That's the life of freedom. They feel that I have nothing to worry about. What will happen? God is there for me to take care. So they will be sick, and if one does like that, God cannot stay away from them. So sick shikram evo abir bhavati. He appears out of his compassion to such a devoted spiritual aspirant bhakta, treated as such a devotee, and anubhavayati cha bhakta. Not only it appears to him, because he has experienced it, he becomes an instrument to awaken that devotion in others. So God realization becomes a reality in the life of that bhakta, and he also becomes an instrument to awaken the divinity in others also. And that's why just the last verse 81 when we read, that we read, Tri Shaktasya Bhakti Reva Guriyesi. Bhakti, it is devotional, devotion to the eternal truth. That is the bhakti alone. That is the Guriyasi. Guriyasi means greatest, highest of all spiritual practices. So we have started that discussion from the very beginning that why bhakti is so much eulogized, because it is an inherent nature of everyone that we have our devotion in our heart. But bhakti has also varieties. Bhakti is not one type. Using one word, bhakti is bhakta, only one way. The jnana is only jnana. No, jnana is not only one path. In jnana, how many paths are there? Abhasavad, Avacchinnavad. These are all followers of different philosophies of the Vedanta. Reflection, God is reflected as the jiva. Uh, Sakshi, witness idea, what you call Dishaktavad, Trishaktavad, and different ways of looking at the truth. Sadhana is different. So, bhakti also not one type. Though the pure nature of bhakti is the same, bhakti means love for God, but it manifests in varied ways, and people choose according to their temperament and tendency that type of bhakti. So, this is the verse we are reading today, 82. It categorizes bhakti according to the nature of the individual. So, what are they have given 11 types of 11 types of expression of bhakti. You can choose any one of them in your spiritual practice and fall in love in that path, and that will lead you ultimately to the vision of God. God vision will be possible. So it is called Guna Mahatma Ashakti. Ashakti means attachment. Asakti is bad. Asakti, attachment, clinginess, holding on, as we are. We are asakta. I am asakta. I love one person, I am asakta. I am attached to that person. I love this house, I am attached to the house. I love my car, this is my car, I am attached to it. I love my this particular costume. I love this jewelry. I love this whatever in the world, infinite number of our ashakti, attachment is there.
I love my Vedanta society. That's also.
Yes. So
What word I
that
say?
is also
Ashakti.
ashakti.
Shakti meaning like energy.
One word. Asakti, one word.
But is not.
No, not that.
Oh, okay.
Asakti, one word. Shakti means what is called Deep attachment, that is the meaning. You can say eyes, means everything, it's expanded. Shakti is the, not Talvosha, it is Duntasa. There are two words in Sa and Sha and Sa. So this is Sha. I said, no, if you touch your tongue in the teeth, then that pronunciation,
that kind of stuff.
that's an Sa. Asakti. So asakti is attachment, inclination, clingingness, holding on, this type of. And this is a problem for us because we are asakta to so many things. We are attached to so many things. We cling on to so many things. Therefore, our mind does not go to God. Now, you turn your Ramakrishna's formula. We have that asakti. We are all human beings. We are born with that. Childhood days, we love my mom, my auntie, my dad, my grandma, grandmother. And we grow, then love our boyfriend, girlfriend, this, that, and then we grow, then we love our son, grandson, granddaughter, grandson. That goes on. Like the other, it is like, uh, where is the asakti goes? And it does not go to God. That is the major point. But it can go. You can turn that. You can turn the direction as we do unconsciously. So here is said, some devotees may be ashakta, hmm, attached to what? Guna Mahatma Asakti. Guna means quality, and guna means glory. Ah, and Mahatma means also glory. Guna and Mahatma, Mahima. Love of the glorification of the Lord's blessed qualities. You love to hear about the glory. Oh, God is such. When you read the Bhagavad, when you read the life of Ramakrishna, when you read the life of Sri Chaitanya, you see their very Jesus Christ, you see their life and their glory, how they lived a life, how in the adverse situation they were totally concentrated in the thought of God. So this is one way one can follow. Guna and Mahima. Guna is quality, glories. Mahima is the charm, greatness of Lord. What is the greatness of Lord? Most of the prayers, when we chant, Oh Lord, you are like that, you are the creator, you are the sustainer, you are the this, you are compassionate, you are this, huh? You are glorifying that. Oh Lord, you have created this whole universe. No? What a glory, what a great power you have. So we feel awe and attracted to the awe, awesome thing which God's, as a God's glory. Not some people say, oh, it is nature. Why do you bother about that? And see the beauty of the nature. It is nature has created. But devotees know God has created. So if one's mind gradually turns towards God and His glories, that's one way. Love, it is shifting its direction from the things we love to some other thing. So, Guna Mahatma Shakti, Rupa Shakti. Rup means beauty. Hey, we see the baby Krishna. You see, everything is beauty. Beautiful. Krishna smile is beautiful smile. Oh, Krishna walking and dancing with the anklet. What a beautiful dance, no? So that it is everything beautiful. Eyes are beautiful. Nayanang Maduram, Shravanang Maduram, Chalanang Maduram, Vachanang Maduram, Madhuradhipate, Madhuram Madhuram, Madhuram Madhuram Madhuram. Krishna, everything is Madhur. So that charm of the beauty of that Rupa. We are all naturally attracted to anything what is beautiful. Sunrise is beautiful, so who is not attracted to the just the sun to see the sunrise? Who does not like that sun is rising in the background of the what you call the ocean? No, just think of that. It's charming. So our mind gets attracted. So when the mind gets attracted to such rupa, beauty of God, so rupa shakti. So though rupa shakti love for his enchanting beauty, in this country when Swami Vivekananda came, most of the newspaper when they describe my God, oh his eyes are this, his face is this and this. When a half page goes the description of how beautiful he was.
Even his turban.
Ah, whatever attracts the room, attracts our eyes. No? So instead of thinking of something, we're thinking of God and God's beauty. Because that is turning our attention. That's the bhakti. Bhakti is turning our attachment is there. I'm not to kill that attachment, but I only give a direction to that attachment. You love, as I say, you go to the garden and you see, wow, what a beautiful flower. You think that it is beautiful flower. Bhakta will say, see the glory, how God's beauty is manifesting to the beauty, this beautiful flower. No? It's everywhere where any charming thing you see, it is all God's glory. So it reminds you of God, God, God. So then you are a bhakta. Otherwise, you are a ordinary person who appreciates everything which looks today good and tomorrow goes away. So they feel disinterested in it. So that is not devotion. So here it says Rupa Shakti. Third is Puja Shakti, love of worship. There are certain people who love to do the worship as we do in a temple. So some people worship Haman, ah ha ha, you are so good, being a garland. Normally that's why when someone brings a flower, we say, okay, let it go to the Lord first. Someone say, oh, oh, oh. So you feel the fragrance of it and you say, wow, wow. But this is for love for God. So it should go to the Lord first. Love of worship. So whatever they get, they put it as worship for the Lord, not for human being, not for any brain, not for anything. It should go to God first. So they are also ritualistic worship. They may like ritualistic worship. That is the way. Like Shashi Maharaj, you look at that Swami Ramakrishna in our order, he used himself in service to Sri Ramakrishna, worship, very meticulously, very ritualistically. And that may turn into love for God and feel His presence. Then Puja Shakti, Smarana Shakti, day and night remember Him. As a friend remembers a friend, eh, so a devotee will remember God, always remembering the mantra or remembering His name, chanting His name, or whatever happens. As a child, remember some mother, everything. Anything happens, child runs, ma, 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 ma. So that is spontaneous. A child knows there is nothing but mother. So a bhakta knows there is nothing but God. He will be turning his attention to remember God. Dasya Shakti, like serving the Lord, like Hanuman served Rama, Swami Vivekananda served Ramakrishna. Uh, this is this example of Dasya Bhakti, the servant attitude with the Lord. Lord is my master, and my whole life is to serve Him. We serve, whole day we are serving, everyone is serving. We say, we serve, we don't serve God, and that's why we, at the end of the day, we get frustrated. If we have served God, then every bit of service will give me joy and joy because I have done for God, done for God, done for God. But I think that, oh, I had to do this in the morning for this person, that person, in the office, this boss, this co-worker didn't cooperate with me. You are not doing work for co-worker. You are not doing for your boss. You're not doing for your any friend, or you're doing for God. God, 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 God. So that should be the attitude, that Dasya Shakti, Shakya Shakti. So make God is your friend, making God as our friend. So, like Arjuna in the Gita, Bhagavad Gita, he is, when before this Bhagavad Gita, he has the attitude of a friend with a friend. He used to walk with him, talk to him like a friend talking to a friend. No? That is the Dasya in Shakya. Shakya means friendship. Shakya Asakti. Vatsalya Asakti. God can be loved as my child, as like the mother child attitude. Here, the examples are there, like the Jashoda, the mother, like loved whom? Krishna. Uh, Chandra Devi, the mother of Ramakrishna, loved Krishna, Sri Ramakrishna. So, like that, God is my child. So, this same affinity for the child is there, but not that is not binding them. That type of attachment is releasing them from bondage, thinking of this child there, God, God, God. No? So this is the Vatsalya Bhava, love for him as son. Kanta Shakti, thinking God, love for God as a wife loves her husband. So this is a human relationship attitude. But when it goes to God, Krishna, Mirabai was married and this and that, but he didn't like that. He was a prince and she loved Krishna. Krishna is my husband. And she lived in that consciousness and were totally absorbed in that consciousness, and she became such a great saint. Uh, Bridal mysticism. In the Christian world, there is a bridal mysticism. Thinking God is the only beloved Lord of me. So, thinking that the asakti which ordinary people, attachment which the ordinary people will have for their human flesh and blood, it will be deified into divine love. So, that is the way. And then Atma Nivedana Asakti, love of self surrender. I cannot do anything. I take refuge in you. You do whatever you can do. That surrender, surrender. Atma Nivedan. Nivedan means offering. Offering oneself at the altar of the Lord. It is nothing I can do. It is you can only help me, and I am helpless child. I surrender myself. Self surrender. Tanmaya Shakti. Tanmaya means absorbed. We feel absorbed when a beautiful music. Those people who love music and listening to good music, they get absorbed and absorbed, and time goes away. Those who play some instrument also, if they love that play and they get absorbed and absorbed, then time forget that their 1 hour is gone. So similarly, in God, they will be absorbed in God, thinking of God, and absorption will come. And as a lover loves, so finds joy, so he will also, or she will also find tanmaya asakti, love for being absorbed in him, the Lord. Parama viraha asakti. This is another type of love is there, which is called the love for the pain of separation. It's a separation anxiety. No? Yeah, that is the point. So I'm not seeing God anymore. And every day we pray in the morning. The moment separation from the will be like 1,000 years. Every morning we pray. That is Sri Chaitanya's prayer. Sri Chaitanya used to pray, "O Lord, let me have that type of feeling that if in a blinking of my eyes, that much time I don't see you, let me feel that pain of as if I have not seen you for such a long time." So that is also a expression of love And that also is not ordinary person can have that. But though externally that there is a pain in it, this separation pain, but internally they feel the touch of God. Because their mind is totally saturated in the beloved. That's why the physical appearance is not there. So they are very unhappy with that and they feel the uh, difference there. So, Parama Viraha Asakti Rupa Ekodha Upi. Though all bhakti is one, love. Bhakti means love. But Ekodha Upi, though it is one, love is only one. Ekada Sudha Bhavati. It takes 11 different forms. Ekodasa type, 11 types of expression. Means you can follow any of the means and you can have love for God develop in you. So here it said that though itself only one. So I am on verse number 82. We have all discussed the 11 names, 11 types of bhakti as the sage Narada have designed. He said it is, the running meaning will be like this. I have forgotten to bring the book, this book in my room. I don't need, you can bring that book. I can manage it. 82 verse on page 162, it says, this divine love manifests itself in 11 different forms. One, a devotee loves to chant the praises and glories of the blessed Lord. This is one. Two, he loves his enchanting beauty. So he is totally absorbed in his beauty, Lord's beauty. Three, he loves to offer him worship of his heart. Four, he loves to meditate on his presence constantly. Five, he loves to think of himself as his servant. He loves him as a friend, loves him as his child, loves him as his beloved, loves to surrender himself to him completely. He loves to be completely absorbed in him, the Lord. He loves to feel the pangs of separation from him. So these are the 11 expressions. This last expression of love, that is to feel the pangs of separation from him, is typified in the lives of those who love God as their beloved husband. When these pangs of separations are felt, there is always a greater bliss in the union with the beloved. So this is the entire 11 ways. Not much explanation is here, but we find a deeper explanation in the book of Swami Bhuteshananda.
It's 11 types and there are 9 types. No, which, what two are the different?
Let me go through it, then I'll come to that. 9 types.
No, that's Shravanam, Kirtanam, Pranam, like that.
Yeah. Bhakti 9 types. All the types give me. So the running man translation goes, though itself only one, bhakti manifests itself in 11 forms. And just we have seen love, the glorification of the Lord's blessed quality, and just we have seen enchanting love, etc. Worship, love of constant remembrance, love of service, love of God as a friend, love of God as a son or daughter, love of God as a husband, love of surrender to himself, love of complete absorption in him, and love of pain of separation. Now we have read the sutras that Parabhakti, though one, manifests itself in this form. So love of the glorification of the Lord's blessed qualities, this is one. The glory of the different qualities of God, the idea being to meditate on God's qualities or to desire to remember God's qualities constantly. So these forms of which bhakti may take, bhakti may take, or one take, or any one of these may be cultivated by the devotee. These forms are supposed to be interrelated. So Swamiji says here that it is not that you have to practice every one, but you can take any of these 11. As we are coming to the 9 types of bhakti. Navada bhakti is mentioned in by Ramachandra also, by to the sage Sabari. Sabari was a tribal lady. She was raised in the Matanga sage. They are home, they are in the ashram of Matanga Rishi, and he, Matanga Guru taught Sabari 9 types of devotion, Navada Bhakti. No, it is Rama ultimately taught 9 types. So these are different 9 types are here. Swavanam, hearing the names and glories of the Lord. Kirtanam, you chant jointly. We chanting, we say Hare Krishna, like that. You can say Rama Krishna Sharanam, like that. This is the chanting the glory. And chanting of the glories, what greatness of His compassion, His love. Smaranam, remembering the Lord. Padasevanam, serving. Almost they are close to the 11, but names are different and approaches are different. Padasevanam. That's why in Hare Krishna temple or anywhere we go, we also give it here. After they worship, the drinking water. That's called Charanamrita, the nectar of washing the feet of the Lord. No? So as if we are all offered and that when we offer it, this become pure. That water we drink to have devotion in us. So Pada Bandhanam, when you go to our temple, that's why we bring flower, offer flower at the feet. Huh? So this is one. Archanam, worshipping the Lord as we do with sandal paste, incense, flowers, fruits, candies, and so many big puja we do, so many paraphernalia of worshipping God. Bandhanam, offering obeisance to Lord. Bandhanam, then always praise, prayers and praises. Dasyam, serving the Lord in His servant. Sakyam, these are common. The servant attitude or the friendship attitude. Atmanivedanam, total surrender, that is also common. So these are the different ways of expressing devotion into God. So they are not different, but language, it is more elaborate here. 11 type is more elaborate here.
So the Atman, the last one you said, that would be like just total like
Ah.
oneness with God, just total feeling oneness with God.
No, Atma Nivedan means Atman means the lower self, this small self. Nivedan means you offer it.
Oh, okay.
As if your small eye is offered to the big eye.
Oh, okay.
So your lower eye gets dissolved. So God's eye remains. That is the Atma Nivedan. Anything you do that you have no freedom to do anything. Like the Girish Ghosh did that, offered it to Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna said, you do remember God in the morning and the evening, every day. He said, I cannot do. I do not know when that morning, my morning comes. When my evening will happen, I don't know anything. Because I live in drinking. My night, my morning is, I have no control over it. Okay, then do at least one time. But that also I cannot give you any word. I can do one time. Okay. Then when you go to bed, well, when I shall go to bed, I have no idea. And in what condition I will go, I do not know. So he refused everything. Then Ramakrishna was kind and he said, okay, so you then give me your power of attorney. You give the power of attorney, no? So power of attorney means you give your everything. So you need not have to do anything. We give power of attorney to the lawyers. You don't do anything. Lawyer will say whatever is good for you, he thinks. But then you cannot say, hey, lawyer, why are you saying, tell what I want you know. He's giving in a court his presentation. So what he will think, he will do. So when we surrender to God, then God takes the total responsibility. And he thought, bah, very good. Then I need not have to call upon God. I will, well, and Ramakrishna said, you do whatever you like. Then I will drink, I will dance, I will write my, what you call all the writings of the acting and producing. I will do all this work as I am doing, nothing to do, no change. And he will do everything for me. So we all want that type of license, no? But now he was a sincere person. He thought that I've given it to God. And now his son died. And he was thinking, his heart is breaking. He used to cry. But then he stopped. Can I cry? I have given all my power of attorney to Ramakrishna. So is it his will that shall I cry? I have no power at all to cry even at the death of my son. So it is too very difficult thing to give power of attorney. So that is that is Saranagati, Atma Nivedana. When we offer ourselves at the feet of the Lord, then we have no special action to do, neither you have any authority to do. Every moment you will have to talk to Him. Oh Lord, guide me. Shall I do this? Shall I put my step right side or left side? You have to contact and get His permission. So this is much more remembering God every second. I'll say this. Can I say this? Oh Lord, no. Can I say this? Make me an instrument. Tell, what shall I say? No. It is a much difficult task. Every second you cannot breathe. Shall I breathe? It is your will or my will. So this is Atma Nivedana. That's a highest state. But practice, we can do practice. This is one way of connecting with God, one type of devotional practice. So I'm reading this from Swami Bhuteshananda Maharaj. So he says that love of the glorification with Lord's blessed qualities, glory of the different qualities of God, the glory of the different God, the idea being to meditate on God's qualities or to desire to remember God's qualities constantly. So God's qualities, what is infinite love? You think of Christ, His infinite dedication, His infinite purity, His unbounded devotion to the self, to the truth. So think of them. As you think, your heart, and then that will draw the lower self towards the big self, towards God. Attachment to the Lord's beauty, as I have said. Lord's beauty, every scripture talks about baby Krishna. Beauty and the Lord's beauty was attracted everyone. It attracts everyone. When Krishna was born, Krishna's beauty was so much that the entire community, they used to come to see once every day, a routine. They cannot stay away without seeing his beautiful smiling face, his prattle, his just walking, talking, or even he is prattling. So it is getting attracted to the beauty of Ramakrishna. Given a present day example. Sri Ramakrishna was a child, he has a attraction. So whole village will have to come to Sri Ramakrishna every day. The village girls, maybe housewives, when they go, they will have to come to Ramakrishna's house. And they sit their home and see where is Godai, that boy Godai. and look at him and talk to him and see him without, they cannot miss seeing him for even a day. And even they don't see him in even one day, they will make an excuse to come to their home and see. The old, young, all alike. Uh, so much is the attraction. When God comes, purity has an attraction, no? Purity, total love, where there is no taint of any worldliness. When that manifests, that creates a tremendous attraction. And when God comes, it is unbounded and it's a love and attraction. That's why Krishna is called Karsati iti Krishna. That Krishna means who attracts, who pulls the mind of
That's
everyone.
what it means.
And that is Ramakrishna. It means the Ram Krishna, uh, Ram Badmais. As they say in Bengali, there is a word. Ram means extreme, and Krishna means attraction. Ramakrishna is such a extreme attraction for everyone. So village old ladies, young ladies, passers-by, men, women, and everyone, his playmates, they could not stay for a moment without uh, Ramakrishna, Godai, no? So even Krishna, when he was a young boy, used to go with the cows to graze, no? All the cowherd boys. And Sri Krishna was the center of attraction for them. When Swami Vivekananda, when his childhood, he was the leader, but he was the attraction, his beauty. His beauty was such. That's why Sri Ramakrishna uh, sometimes used to say, I love you. Not that you look good, not for your external beauty, but I see Narayana, Lord in you. That's why I love you. So that's the divine love. But attraction is the question. So this attraction, beauty, attachment to his worship, as I said, uh, plucking flowers, making sandal paste, making a garland, then offering mantra, offering food and candies. You go to the really Hare Krishna temple, you see the pujari is engaged from morning till night. You go to our Belur Math, who is worshipping the Sri Ramakrishna, morning, early morning, 3:30 onward, his day starts to serve the Lord, to wake up the Lord as if he is sleeping. You go and wake up, help him, and then take care of his needs and everything whole day. Feed this time feeding, this time making bed, this time giving the new cloth to wear. So everything connected with his necessity, God's, to serve and worship him. Attachment to remembering. That just make a plan. I will remember him all the time. eh? That should be our sadhana. But a real devotee cannot spend a moment without remembering God. Ramakrishna gave the example. If someone has a toothache, eh, he does not need to be reminded, hey, have you toothache? Toothache will remind you. So devotee will be such. He will be remembering God all the moment. It does not depend on somebody to tell him, oh, are you thinking? Are you thinking? Are you thinking? So this is really the attitude. They cannot stop thinking. So this is a process. If you take this path, I will remember God all the time. Make a resolution, bhakti. So what? Forget other sadhana. I will remember God every time. That's why you call japa. You repeat the mantra. All the time. I do. I forget. Okay, let me do now. Let me do now. Continuous, continuous, continuous. Then it will be spontaneous identification with the mantra and mantra's name and form. Two things come together. When you utter a word has an object. We say book. Book is a word. Word has a subject. What is the subject? The size, printed something and with some material in it. That is called book. If I say it is a tree, immediately tree word has a connection with something or some object. So it is not here. But if I tell you a big banyan tree, in your mind there is an image of the big banyan tree. So similarly, when you take a Ramakrishna, you take Krishna, or you say Christ, that form will be remembered in your heart. So that is a practice. One can do that. Then attachment to him as that of a servant to the master. So if it is one is thinking that I am the servant of the Lord, so whatever you are doing, you are thinking that I am not serving anyone. I am not a servant of anyone. I am not attached, am I doing any duty to anybody, but I am serving God, God. Take that attitude, only one attitude. See what happens. The total transformation will come. From morning till night, whatever I do, I am doing for God, doing for God. I am His servant. I am His servant. I am to serve. I am not to question. Eh? Yeah, we call born slave, no? The slavery is gone, but you remember the slavery, you have no idea. So they will purchase a man, say, with some money and bring a slave in their home. Okay? So when they bring the slave in their home, what they do? Slave has no personality. Day and night, they will have to be doing the work for the master, otherwise they will get a whip and this. But we are not to be whipped by anyone. We are serving God, serving God. Whatever you are doing, you are cleaning, cooking, you are washing, you are making a garland, you are doing in the garden, or you are doing your uh, driving, you are doing office. Everything is serving. I am serving my master, Sri Ramakrishna. God, 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 God. Just one idea. Take this. This is the attachment that it is servant to his master. I am his servant. It is not anyone is forcing me to be the servant, but I willfully accept, take this attitude that I am the servant. Swami Vivekananda said, I am your servant for life and life onward. Das tabu janame janame dayanidhi. You are, O ocean of compassion, dayanidhi. I am your servant of this life and lives together. So in every life, I am your servant. That means whatever I do, it is for God I am doing. God I am doing. So one attitude, that is the servant attitude. Attachment to him as a friend. Some people may have some personal relationship, like he is my friend. So if you think that he is my friend, then you are very free. You don't fear your friend, then he is not your friend. So someone think God is my friend. So exceptional relationship. Not that all can have that type of relationship. Very rarely we find like Arjuna people making friendship with Krishna. But again, that attitude may change. If to a friend you don't hide anything, you need not have to show special honor and respect. Friend is friend, yeah. You sit, I sit, you drink a cup of water, I can, hey, why are you standing? Can't go. The friend talks like that. No. But when you, so you can think of God in your personal relationship. Wherever is any, I am a friend of the Lord. Lord is my friend. So that attitude. And an attachment to Him as a child. It is a good idea. As a child, that means the devotees cherishes the feeling or attitude towards God as his son. God is my son. So that's why everyone does that in household, Indian household families and devotees family will see that some people could not go for a vacation unless they arrange for their puja, worship in the temple. They have their own shrine room, but if you go, who will serve tomorrow morning? They are doing Mahakali's puja. And their Mahakali is there every day to be worshipped and paid. So they cannot go anywhere. You will have to get up and first put the Lord to come out of the bed. You have to give some fruits and candies to eat. Huh? Then you have to do certain time, little worship. No? Here, since the beginning till today, not a single day the puja is stopped. Not a single day morning Lord is wake up from the bed. Night time we put him as if he's sleeping with a what you call blanket. In the when it is too cold, we put blanket. When it is light weather, we put a cotton, some light blanket, light chadar, or heavy chadar. So, who will put? It happens sometimes, and sometimes whose duty is there, he has forgotten, or that's a big thing. So you cannot keep that because it is called seva apara. It will be your failure in performing your responsibility towards Lord. So you think that is the service attitude. He is a baby, and if he depends on you, if you don't feed, he will not eat. How can you keep God fasting like that? He is dependent. You cook. When you are cooking, I have seen one gentleman, he loves Krishna. But when he moves, he carries Krishna, the image of Krishna in his hand. He's going with, in the plane, he holds in his hand. And when he goes to room, he puts it in one place. And I was one in Canada. And I came back, we were around 9:30 or 10. He gave up all the work and put the baby Krishna there. He brought from the refrigerator milk and little boiled it, and then little not too hot, not too cold, and then started bathing him that time because he was not bathed in the noon time because he was busy in this whole day. So he put him and he's bathing the baby Krishna with the milk and then feeding little milk in the mouth and then this and that, as if the baby is waiting all day. And then he puts him and then he thinks of his own. So thinking of God as my child or as dependent on me, I am to serve him, I am to worship him. So that is an attitude. But we have extended. In Vedanta, you extend whatever you do, you think that you are serving Krishna. You're serving Ramakrishna. You give a glass of water, you're giving to this whom? To your friend? No, think it is Ramakrishna through the friend. Through the friend, but Ramakrishna is the person taking your offer. So this attitude, this is a bhakti practice. Attachment to the Lord as husband, as a wife's relationship to her husband. So that is love for self-surrender we have discussed. Attachment to him in the form of complete absorption. Some people, maybe many people are there. They chant the mantra, or chant the name with the symbol, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, and they go absorb. Then it stops, and they get absorption. So that may be one way, if your nature suits that. Attachment to the supreme anguish as a result of separation. So these are the 11. So now I go through this little explanation. These are the forms which bhakti may take, or any one of these may be cultivated by the devotee. You need not have to take all these different ways of loving God, but you can take any of the path. These are all bhakti path you can practice. These forms are supposed to be interrelated. If you take one, the other will come automatically. Whenever a person develops this extreme form of love for God, he develops these ideas or attitudes towards God. The first form mentioned in the glorification of the attributes of the Lord. A devotee actually starts his devotion with this. God's glory has to be meditated upon so that gradually we become more and more attached to him. People, Ramakrishna said, there are a group of devotees used to come, Sikh people, the Sikhism. These people used to come, and Ramakrishna used to say, why do you glorify God so much? Oh Lord, you are so glorious. Oh Lord, you have created this world. And then they said, shall we not say that God has created us, God is giving us food, God is giving us breath, breathing, that's why we are alive. So we should be grateful. That's why his glory. Well, he is your mom, he is your dad. No, it is his responsibility. Why do we glorify that? That's the advanced state. But the point is that we really get attracted to God. How? Oh, look at the sky. Oh my God, who has created glory of God? Who has created the moon, moonlight? Who has created the beautiful flowers? Who has created these stars and galaxies and all the types of creatures, all the plants and things, miracles of the nature, wonders of the nature? Wow, what? God is so great. So you feel charmed, attracted towards God. This is one way of loving God. Then comes His beauty. To think of the beauty of the Lord is moving a little bit closer. First is the greatness, grandeur of God. Seeing the vastness in the nature, beauty of the nature, uh, the all the attractive things in the world. It is who created? Who created? Devotee will say God has created. So it reflects God's presence and God's glory. So that to think of the beauty of the Lord is moving a little bit closer or making a closer relationship with divine. So that means you are beauty, as I said, Swamiji's beauty was really very attractive. No? People used to really marvel at his wonderful face, eyes, looking with that eyes. How much beautiful descriptions in all the Western news media was there during those. That was the style, of course. They used to describe the orator, how tall he looks, how grandeur he moves, what is in their sash, what is the uh, covering the body, clothing he is wearing, and all these descriptions. So one can utilize that thing as God. So third one. Next, it means offering of worship of Him. Then comes worship, which means offering worship to Him or even attachment to His worship. You may not be worship, but you like to do worship. There are some people by temperament. Given the chance, they will be liking to do the ritualistic worship and thinking that I'm serving God only. As I said in Hare Krishna temple, pujaris get 24 hours engaged into the worship part of it. And they think they call the Devo Seva, service to God. That is their sadhana, day and night. Next is attachment to his divine manners. Then various other attitudes are mentioned. Attachment to God as his servant. This is the beginning of a close personal relationship. When you see the relationship point, then you think that friendship is the first one. Then attitude of servant towards his master. The devotee consider himself as a servant and God as his master. Next in order of nearness is considering him as a friend of the devotee. Now, this relationship means being almost at the level, as it were, same level. A servant keeps himself at a distance from the master, but a friend need not keep any kind of distance. He is so intimate that he considers God as equal. This is the beauty of the relationship of friendship. Even more intense is the relationship between father or mother and the child. God may be treated here as a child, and the devotee may consider himself or herself as the father or mother. This is very sweet relationship where there cannot be any question, give and take. Okay, so I'll read the last few descriptions, but we have discussed overall. But the Swami has given a good note, quite few pages. We'll read for the next class. So we end here. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. So probably there is no question, no? That's good. So today we have a special 7:30 class. That class will be given by It's a lecture, you can say. Professor Arindam Chakraborty, who is a professor of philosophy in Stony Brook University, and he is teaching in Hawaii, University of Hawaii for last 22 years, and also he teaches in the Asoka University. He's in the Department of Philosophy. So he is here. So we will be hearing from him about the topic, what he has given. I forgot the topic.
To a friend.
To a friend. By Swami Vivekananda's poem is there, to a friend, and he will try the other disciples, the love between Swami Vivekananda and others, or the Guru Bhais. I like that from that angle he will discuss. It will be very interesting thing. It was my class, so I thought that let me take advantage of his presence here. He is a very well-renowned professor of philosophy in the modern time. I hear from Sarvapriyananda Swami. So anyhow, he will be speaking at 7:30 from this platform. And Shanti Gita, today's Shanti Gita, what I used to do, I will do it tomorrow. And Shanti Gita, also we are doing the Taptamasi, thou art that, we are reading that area. So we will blend that idea, how Sri Ramakrishna once said, you have to know who am I, what are you, and what is the relationship between you and me. So that is the. So we'll read tomorrow, and tonight then 7:30 we'll be listening to Professor Arindam Chakraborty. Thank you. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.